Hello, my name's Rosie Burns and I'm an art teacher and an artist, and this is a really quick session to demonstrate a drawing process, drawing with wire. For this session you'll need a sketchbook, drawing pencils, piece of Lego and an apple. This is what you can expect to achieve by the end of this session. Getting to know your pencils to start with is a really good idea. If you start off with an HB, the H and B in pencils just means hard and black. HB is hard and black, it's your mid pencil and it's used for outline. If you just have a scribble and see what kind of tonal values you can get. That's my HB, this is my 3B, and you can feel they're much softer and greasier. Pencils are made of graphite. Graphite is a mineral like coal that comes from mining. Graphite's also used as a lubricant in engineering for metal, and the graphite is mined and then it's mixed with clay, and the more clay that's added, the harder and lighter. So generally, if you're drawing, an HB, 3B and 5B is quite sufficient. Practice drawing some shapes, especially a circle. See if you can flatten the circle to make an elliptical shape. On the right hand side of this page you can see a reduction of a circle to a flat line through a series of ellipses. And then think about 3D shape. Imagine your pencil is a piece of wire. Imagine the mark you're making is generating the shape of an apple. If you take a continuous line and just experiment with horizontal and vertical shapes as if you were building the piece of fruit out of a piece of wire. When you've had a play with your pencils, the other thing you were asked to bring for this lesson was a piece of Lego, simply because it's a very simple cuboid. A matchbox or a small box would also be fine. And then what I'd like you to do with this one is to draw around the piece of Lego. Move it slightly and draw around it again. Just up and left, a centimetre is fine. And then join together the corners and you will have made a three-dimensional frame of a cuboid. Experiment with this using different shapes. So try and draw a triangular prism using the same principle. Two triangles slightly apart will give you a Toblerone shape. I'm looking at the apple not quite from the same viewpoint as the camera. The camera's very much a bird's eye view. I'm looking at it more at a cross shape. I'm going to start off by drawing a kind of wiry outline of my apple. My apple's quite a wonky apple. And then I'm going to start thinking about how I would construct it very lightly with an HB pencil if I was to be building it with wire. The idea of building with wire is it gives you a structure for the direction of the shading. To make a three-dimensional form, if you start off with wire lines, it gives you an idea of the direction that the shading will take. I'm going to take some photographs as I go along and join them together so you can see how it builds. Drawing from life is all about looking. You need to observe, look at the darkest areas first. Make sure every mark you add to the drawing is following your wire lines. So they need to be rounded on every part of the apple. Flat marks make flat surfaces. It doesn't work. Look carefully, start to think about the blemishes, the form, any marks on the apple. Begin to add the shadow so your apple has a context, it's sat in a space. Building up the textures, the blemishes, the marks on the apple where the sunlight hasn't got to it, touching another branch or an apple. Add the shadow, building up and building up your form. Try to keep your page clean and your cat off it. Sorry about the marks. I've used a rubber to add highlights on top, very light lines, but again, those marks are following the form of the apple. Final piece. I hope you enjoyed the drawing with wire video. The idea is you can stop and start it. It's a lot of information in just 6 minutes. If you're interested in some one-to-one or 1-to-3 teaching, I charge £40 an hour on screen with video conferencing software. I look forward to hearing from you. Check out my website or email me. Address is below. Bye.